Alright guys, I'm out here doing a little shore session today. My plans fell through when my buddy had to cancel on me today, so been fishing for a little while and finally got my first bite, or my first hookup I should say. It's a nice little smallmouth. Alright, got him a hook now, gonna let him go. Hey guys, it's Fishing the PNW. I'm out here fishing the duo Realis Spinbait 80 and Prism Gill again, and you guys might have noticed that I'm throwing it on casting gear. The setup I've chose is my 7-foot medium Garcia Veritas Winch. It's a crankbait rod, so as you can see, it's got a lot of give to it and it's got a lot of flex. And you know, that's what you're gonna want when you're fishing a, like a finesse bait like this. You're gonna want to give the bass. You're gonna want a lot of give so that the bass can fight, and you're not gonna put too much strain on these light hooks or the light line that you're using. If you guys haven't heard, Duo Realis came out with the Spinbait 80, but it's the G-Fix model, which is slightly heavier, and they've changed the ballast so that it can run deeper, and they designed it to run on 8-pound fluorocarbon on casting gear. Right now I'm using 8-pound mono, and some might argue that it's not ideal. However, that's what I like to fish, and I have it paired with my Shimano Chronarch 201 E6. Oh, you can see it. And the way I set it up is I have my spool tension a bit tight just so that it wobbles a little bit, and I only have one out of the 6 centrifugal brake set up. And with that 8-pound mono and that set up on this rod, I can cast this thing a mile. And what you want to do is you guys just want to give it a slow turn. I do approximately 1 turn a second or so with this 201 E6, and if you look at the tip, you can kind of see a slight wobble to it, and that's when you know you have that shimmy action going on under the water. And with a sensitive light rod like this, you can also feel it vibrating. So you want to make sure that you're reeling it slow enough so that the bait is having that side-to-side shimmy and wobble as you're retrieving it. If you just kind of feel it coming in and you don't feel that, then chances are you're reeling it in too fast. So you just want to work it slow. And what I'm doing right here is this is a man-made canal, and the sides of the canal are lined with big boulders. So I'm just slow rolling this over the boulders, and that's what I've been doing. I've had plenty of bites, but I've only caught one so far. Again, if you look, this thing just casts really far, even though it's a very light bait on casting gear. So don't be afraid to go against the grain, to think outside of the box. Although lures may work the best the way they were intended to, it doesn't mean they won't work other ways. I've had good success and I've had a lot of bites fishing it this way. So, I mean, if you guys want, get the G-Fix model. I can only imagine how much better it's going to cast and how much better it'll work on casting gear. However, don't be afraid to throw your original Spinbait 80 on casting gear. And if you see, that has a great side-to-side shimmy while those props are going. And that side-to-side shimmy is what you want. When it rolls side to side, it's going to create a lot of flash in the water, and with the props going, you get that vibration. And as you can see, that's just a very enticing lure. It's a beautiful bait. Don't be afraid to fish it. Oh, there we go, right at shore, right at shore. Alright, come on, calm down. There you go. Another Spinbait 80 smallmouth. Oh, he's hooked good. I'm gonna need my pliers. Alright, it's another dink, but it is a beautiful fish. Look at the markings on that guy. His tail's a little beat up too. I think this is another male guarding a bed or starting to fan out of bed. Alright, there we go. Oh, there's another one. Back-to-back cast. Back-to-back cast. All right, this one's a lot nicer. This might be a female. Look how fat that is. Oh yeah, that is one fat fish. I'm guessing that's a female full of eggs right now. Alright, another fish on the Spinbait 80. That was back-to-back casts. This is a small fish, but look at that gut. Oh, it's definitely been eaten good. I'm guessing this is a female. They are just starting to come up shallow on this particular lake. They're getting ready to spawn. I'm pretty sure they haven't actually spawned yet. Oh man. It's a small fish, but smallmouths fight like giants no matter what size they are. Alright, let's get her back in the water. See ya, girl. Alright guys, so what I'm pretty much doing is I'm casting parallel with shore, but casting maybe 10-15 feet out, and I'm just slow rolling it in. And basically I'm trying to go over these submerged rocks, and maybe 10-15 out the rocks stop and there's flat bottom, so I'm trying to cover as much water. And these smallies, I've had a few hit almost right when it hits the water, so they will come up for it. So what I'm doing right now is making a long backhand cast like that, and then I might let it sink for just a few seconds to get it down slightly deeper in the water column, and then I'll just start slow rolling it again. And a lot of videos you'll watch will tell you that's all you need to do, and that's true. You don't need to do much else. You don't need to work it like a jerkbait. However, I found that sometimes if they're following it and they won't really commit to it, if you pause it and just let it flutter, they might hit it. Or if you give it a couple quick jerks like that, and then let it sink a bit and then start retrieving it, that might trigger some bites. So really all you need to do is just throw it out there and retrieve it at the right speed so that it has that side-to-side shimmy. But if you let it sink a little bit and give it a few pops and then reel it in again, sometimes that will trigger them into biting. And the other thing you always want to do when you fish from the shore is cover water. So try shallow, try deep as well. These, like I said, these fish are aggressive, so even if they're out deeper, they will come straight up for it right now. But if you want to let it sink for a few seconds and get a little bit deeper and reel in a little bit slower so it kind of stays down to depth, that'll work well too. However, these fish, I believe right now they're shallow. They're just a few feet out right along that edge, and all my hits have been coming really close to shore. So again, just cover water, fish it slow, fish it effectively, and you're gonna get bit. This is an amazing bait, and this is by far my favorite bait so far this year. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. Ooh. Man, these smallmouths can't stand the spinbait. They love it. They gotta destroy it. Alright, that's a nicer fish. That is a nicer fish. Oh man, look. Another fat female. And if you look, the mouth, there's no hook mark, so this is not the same fish that I just caught. It is another female. Oh man, let's get her on hook though. Alright. Fourth fish on the spinbait today, baby. Look how fat that is. That is definitely a female. She's getting ready to lay her eggs. Short but fat and just beautiful markings. Look at that fish. That is an absolute beauty. Remember, try not to keep her out of the water too long. I just got her unhooked and I'm gonna let her go. Alright, so another tip when you're shore fishing, if you guys have to crouch down to get to some spots, it's totally going to be worth it. These smallmouth know that there's trees overhanging and it provides shade for them. and they're most likely going to be hanging out around here. Some of my bites that came here, so let's see if we can crouch down, get a cast out there, and catch some fish. Alright, so again, I'm casting maybe 10-15 out from shore, and I'm just slow rolling it over these rocks. And these fish right now, they're in a staging stage right now. They haven't yet spawned, but they're getting ready to. There's some males that are fanning beds, and there's some females that are getting ready. So let's see if we can catch some more. The other thing you guys can do, the other thing I've been doing is I'll cast out a bit, and then I'll hold my rod tip like this so that the line is coming straight in for shore. And then when I feel that it's in a good spot, I'm going to go ahead and bring my rod out this way again so I can parallel the shoreline. And again, you're just trying to cover water and you're trying to figure out whether they're deep or shallow. And today most of them are shallow. Or the other thing you can do is just change your angle. Sometimes I'll want to bring it in at like a smaller angle, or sometimes even like a bigger angle. So we'll see. Sometimes coming in more towards shore or paralleling the shoreline. Just that subtle difference in your retrieve and your presentation and your line is gonna be what's gonna get you bit. Alright, finally got a dink on a drop shot. Nice and fat though. Looks like this might be a little male starting to fan a bed. His tail's kind of messed up. Alright, let him get back.